Welcome to Special Times with Peter Filosa, another episode of my TV show. My guest is Drew Bililies.
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Uncle Drew.
Good morning. It's always nice to see you.
It's good to see you too.
And thank you, especially thank you for inviting me to be on your TV show. This is quite an honor.
You're welcome.
I never thought we would be doing this.
You're welcome. How I met Drew was when I was 3 years old. I did swimming lessons with Drew when I was 3 at the Longfellow Club. And Drew ran the program.
That's correct, and I remember that. I was hired by Natick Recreation in 1985 to run a number of programs, especially on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And one of them was a swim class at the Longfellow Club. And I remember you coming in. You were one of my first clients there, and you took swimming, and that's where we first began our friendship.
Yep.
And then what happened after that? How did you get involved with what I did at that time?
I signed up for a lot of Natick recreation trips.
Right, and I ran a lot of those trips, and in fact, I ran all of them. That was the Skyline program, and that was that was in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And you came on a lot of those trips.
Yeah.
You know, you loved going on those trips. I remember you did a number of Red Sox games and Bruins games, and you loved all the sporting events.
Yeah.
And then the nice part that I remember you is when I left Natick Recreation after working there for 22 years, you followed me. And I started my own company called Alternative Leisure Company, and ran a lot of trips. And you were right there, signed up all the time. I always remember that. And I remember you doing a lot of the WWE wrestling at the Boston Garden. You did the Boston Bruins. You did the Celtics.
Yep.
What else?
When we went to New York to see the Red Sox play the hated Yankees.
That's right. Wow. You have a good memory. That's right. We did. We went to New York City, and I had got tickets for the big Yankees Red Sox game, and you were with me, and we had a great time on that trip.
Yep.
And I want to tell you, Peter, I really enjoyed you on our trips. I think the most memorable time that I'll always remember was when we did a Red Sox game. We always would do the Patriots Day Red Sox games. Remember that? And I took you to, I think it was Mel's Cafe. Mel's Diner in Wayland, and you ordered the Warrior, which I think was pancakes and eggs, and oh my God, that plate was filled up with breakfast food, and I'll always remember that, and that's why I gave you the nickname, the Warrior. Because of that meal. I couldn't believe what you ordered, and you ate the whole thing up.
Yep.
So, anyways, those Patriots Day games were fantastic.
And when I went to Hawaii with you guys, guess who was at Logan Airport waiting for his flight too?
Okay, who was that?
Mayor Menino was at Logan Airport the day that we were leaving for San Diego and Hawaii. Really?
Wow. I remember that.
And my dad introduced me to my friend Mayor Thomas Menino, the mayor of Boston at the time.
Right, exactly. Yep, I remember that.
And I was email pen pals with Thomas Menino, the mayor of Boston, for 5 years.
Were you really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
what other trips did you do with me? Because you got a better memory than I have.
The Cape Cod trip to the Beach Boys.
Okay, yep. And I took a group this past Saturday on a Cambridge side Charles River cruise, and I met the gentleman. His name is Mr. Sheehan, and he's the one that I used to get the tickets from for the Beach Boys every single year. So we hope, and he told me, he goes, I hope the Beach Boys will come again next summer. But that was one of your favorite trips.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things that I enjoyed about you coming on my trips is you sort of ran the trip. I didn't have to worry about you. You stayed with the group. You enjoyed the seats. You enjoyed the game, and you were a pleasure, a complete pleasure to have when I ran these trips.
And I went to Hollywood with you guys, to Universal Studios in California a few years back, and
Right.
And when we were on that trip, my great uncle Frank, who was my dad's uncle from California, he was waiting. There was a plan when we were at the Universal Studios. He was actually waiting outside for me at the park, and there was some type of plan that I was supposed to meet him, and my great uncle Frank, and he was actually waiting outside the park to meet me, and he didn't have the money to come in, so to hang out with me. So he actually, when we got back from that trip, he actually ended up passing away. So I never got to meet my great uncle Frank.
Okay, but you had a good time in the park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Universal. I thought Universal in California was much better than the Universal in Florida. But I hope that we have more trips together, you and I. Okay. I hope so. I hope when this whole COVID thing ends that we can, start doing these trips again, and I can start getting Bruins tickets and Celtics tickets. And I know that, boy, as soon as I mailed you the flyers on any of these sporting events, you would be the first to sign up. So I hope we can rekindle this, and we can go back to the way it used to be, because
I miss you guys.
What?
I miss you guys very much.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Peter, I miss you very much. I mean, you and I go back a long time. Every single trip that you came in with me, you were fantastic. I mean, fantastic. You stayed with the group. You created a lot of enthusiasm to create excitement with the other clients. And they looked up to you, and we just had a good time. Our friendship is very important to me, and I hope that it will continue for a very long time.
How did you get into running the trips?
Okay, that's a good point, and I'm gonna make it kind of quick for you. Basically, Peter, and I think you know this, I graduated Boston College with a degree in special ed, and I got a job. My first job, which was with the Brockton school system, and I was a special needs teacher in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But on Saturdays, I used to run an art program because I sort of had some talents in art, and I ran an art program in Woburn. And then all of a sudden, some Saturdays, I would organize a field trip we called it a field trip, but it was a regular trip. And we go on a hayride, or we go down the Quincy Market, or we go to the aquarium. And I enjoyed doing that. And I enjoyed seeing the excitement in everybody's face, because they were getting on the van and they were getting on the bus, and we were going all over the place. And I taught for 7 years. And then I said to my wife, I said, I really enjoy doing these trips. I get a lot out of it. I get really fulfilled seeing everybody having a good time. So my wife said to me, why don't you take a couple years off from teaching and launch your own company? So in 1983, I started the Alternative Leisure Company, and I ran and set up after school programs, weekend programs, programs for children, programs for teens, programs for adults. In fact, your mother used to teach an ice skating program for me on Saturday mornings in Natick. So we go way back. So I started doing these trips, and I worked for all the recreation departments. I worked for Natick, Burlington, Reading, Andover, and I planned all these different programs and served a lot of people. And then slowly I said, I should just run my own business. And I started Alternative Leisure full-time. And then moving away from the kids programs into more trips for people with disabilities, and started running trips before 9/11 to Europe. I had an audience with the late Pope Paul, brought clients to see him, and we went all over Europe, England and Austria and Greece and Italy. And then now today I continue, and we sort of changed the name, gave it a little different name, and it's called Drew's Trips. So I hope that I will be able to be healthy and be able to continue these trips for a long time.
I hope to see you again soon.
I hope so too, Peter. I hope so too. This is a tough time for all of us with regards to COVID, and I'm still doing trips. I'm still doing day trips. We're trying to be as careful and as safe as we possibly can, and we have been. So, I'm going to send you our new brochure, and would love to see you come on one of the trips. It would be like old times.
Yep.
And again, I thank you for inviting me to be in your TV show. I think that's the most important thing. When I got an email from your mom a couple of weeks ago, I sat back and I said to my family, I said, wow, I said, I'm going to be on TV. And I really appreciate you thinking of me. One thing about you, Peter, you always thought of me all the time. You called me Uncle Drew. I called you the Warrior, and we had a lot of good times. So I really pray and hope that we will continue having our good times.
Well, say hi to everyone at Drew's Trips for me.
I will. I definitely will. And when you're ready and you're feeling well, I want you to come back.
All right, I will. You take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be in your TV show. This is quite an honor in my career. I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye. You take it easy. Thank you.
You too.
And thank your mother for me too, and also thank the gentleman on Medfield TV. That's great.
I will.
Okay, bye now.
Who is it that, where do you run Drew Trips out of? If people are interested in participating and doing this, what are some of the things, like where can people find information about Drew's Trips?
Okay, that's a very good question. One of the things is we do have a website, okay, and it's called Drew's Trips. So DREW''S, drewstrips.com. So that's one way of checking out our trips. The other way is I do have an office, It's at 165 Middlesex Turnpike in Bedford, Massachusetts, 01730. And then one of the things that I pride myself in is I'm always available by phone. I have a cell phone, and my number is 781-454-6463. And I'm always available by phone. If people want me to mail them out one of our brochures, I mail them out immediately. I have loads of references. This is actually I'm completing my 37th year. So it's been a long, beautiful career. I got to be honest with you. I've met a lot of nice, wonderful families and people, and have given a lot of people a real good time.
That's awesome. Now,
So,
we talked
yeah.
about, I was gonna say, we talked about some of the trips that you did with Peter. Now,
Yes.
what are some of the trips coming up? What do you have planned for everybody?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing now is trying to design programs that are safe and that are close by. And again, there's no sporting events for Peter. There's no plays out there. But one of the things I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of holiday things. This coming Sunday, we're doing a trip to the Yankee Candle Factory out in Deerfield, Mass. And then we're combining it because a lot of our guys love the casino. So we're going to the new MGM Casino out in Springfield this Sunday. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. And I usually don't do things on Veterans Day, but I'm running a trip tomorrow to the new casino called Encore in Everett. We're going out to lunch, then going to the casino. On the 22nd, on a Sunday, we always go down to Plymouth, and we have a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner at the plantation. And then we go to Eatable Railroad to see the light display. Unfortunately, this year, there's no parade in Plymouth, and Eatable Railroad's going to be closed. So we're going to go up to New Hampshire. And in New Hampshire, there's a restaurant called Hart's Turkey Farm. And we're going to go up there for a delicious Thanksgiving dinner. And then I'm taking everybody to Fun Spot. And Fun Spot is a big indoor amusement park with video games and all sorts of bowling and that kind of thing. And our guys love that kind of stuff. And then in the beginning of December, I've got a lot of our guys love trains. So we're going up to Lincoln, New Hampshire for a wintry train ride. And then my trips at the beginning of December, we're doing a trip up to Vermont, Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Factory, and also the Teddy Bear Factory. And we're going to tour around Stowe, Vermont. And then at the end of December, I have a huge, which we do every year, a big New Year's Eve party and overnight up at the Black Bear Lodge up in New Hampshire as well. And we go out on December 30th, and then the 31st, we have a big New Year's Eve party, and then the 1st, we come back home. So I'm always doing things that everybody would get excited about, and also commemorating the holidays and celebrating the holidays as well. So, and then coming up for the new year, we have things for Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. We run a big trip down the Cape to the Irish Village to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And these are some of the traditions that I've been doing it for years and years and years.
Peter, if you don't mind, I have one more question on your show that I'd like to ask Drew. But what I wanted to know is if people wanted to help or donate or volunteer, any of those things, are those available to people if they're watching this and they want to get involved with Drew's trips? Is there room for people to volunteer or donate to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have a scholarship fund set up, and we have, quite a bit of money in it, and I give out quite a bit of scholarships. In fact, this time of year, people are sort of hurting, and I invite people to come on any trip that they want. And if they can't afford it, or whatever, I'm right there to put whatever in to make it work for them. I will never, and I've never refused anybody coming on one of my trips for financial problems. I always make it work. I'm always looking for staff. I've got a great staff. A lot of former teachers work for me, and teachers that are in retirement that want to continue. I have a lot of young college kids work for me. I'm always looking for volunteers. So it's a simple, give Drew a call, 781-454-6463, and you can join right away. I welcome people with open arms.
That's awesome. Peter, do you have any other questions for Drew?
No, not really. I just want to thank Drew for being on my show.
Well, again, I said, Peter, it's an honor, and I thank you for taking the time and inviting me. I really appreciate this. And I hope this will maybe attract some new people to come on our trips. I'm always looking for new people to come. I mean, you started when you were 3, and you've been with me ever since, but I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are at home, especially now, and that are isolated and want to get out and have some fun. And that's what I'm trying to do, is create some fun. And we do, that. We all hop in the van. I have a beautiful brand new black van, and we hop in the van, we go out to lunch, we go to an activity. And I got to be honest with you, I enjoy these activities more than the clients do, because I get out, I have fun with you guys, we joke, we laugh, you guys make fun of me, we just have a good time. So Again, thank you, Peter. I'll always remember this morning. This has been great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for watching Special Times with Peter Filosa, and I'll see you guys next time.